close my eyes, though they have never seen the painted hues of gold or forest green. But all the world awakens in my hands, a woven tapestry of living lands. I trace the veins upon a fallen leaf, where raindrops rest in shimmering reef. I feel the earth, a mother breathing deep, in every velvet petal secret sleep, the delicate lace of a spider's thread, a crown of plush fur resting on my head. No need for light to know the spirit's grace. I find the goddess in the sacred space. I walk barefoot upon the ancient moss, a tender carpet where the ley lines cross. I read the stones, the crystal sharp and cold, their sparkling edges, stories brave and old, like sequins scattered on the forest floor. I touch their magic and I ask for more. I feel the earth, a mother breathing deep, in every velvet petal secret sleep, the delicate lace of a spider's thread, a crown of plush fur resting on my head. No need for light to know the spirit's grace. I find the goddess in the sacred space. A soft feather drifting from the sky brushes my cheek, a silent lullaby. The bubbling spring that slips between my toes, the warmth of sunny days, the way it flows. Every texture is a whispered prayer, the soul of nature pulsing everywhere. Reaching out, I hold the unseen light. My fingertips are dancing through the night. Velvet, crystal, water, moss and lace. I see the world, I feel her face.
Hey everybody, it's me, the Joyful Animist, and today I'm going to play a MUD. It's called Harshlands MUD. For those of you guys who do not know what MUD is, it stands for Multi-User Dungeon. Now, what is so great about MUDs? MUDs are, unlike a lot of computer games, text. Although there are graphical MUDs out there, text MUDs are great, especially for blind players, because everything is in text. All the descriptions for everything, all of the crafts, all of the everything, all of the combat is in text. Now, I love MUDs. Right now I've mainly been playing 2 MUDs consecutively. Although others come and go, like I do like a couple of other mods. But Aragon is what many call a hack and slash mod. It is a basic RPG like the old ones, old video games where you kill monsters, gain experience, gold, and level up. And then there are the RPI, or role play intensive games, which is what Harshlands is. And it is a very good game. I do love it quite a lot. And in role play intensive games, you are supposed to stay in character as much as possible. And that means that unless you have a question or you want to clarify a point, you don't break the wall. Meaning you don't talk about, like, anything outside of the game. For example, in a role-play intensive game, you don't walk up to somebody and ask them, how did you like last night's football game? Because in character, your comrade would be like, what is a football game? Especially if it was a medieval game. And I prefer medieval games because I think they're fascinating, especially if you get into great detail about the game itself. I enjoy them quite a lot, actually. And medieval style games are always going to be my thing. I will always love them. And so, why do I like mods? Because in the mod, you are who you are. For example, in Aeron, I play a Gaian, which is basically a druid. A druid mage, pretty much. And I go around killing nasty monsters and getting experience and gold and going on quests and stuff. In Harshlands, I am playing an innkeeper's journeyman. I'm a journeyman innkeeper. And so I'm cooking food, I'm brewing alcohol, I am filling orders, I have a stall that people can actually go and buy from. So I enjoy mods because they are worlds within themselves, and there are computer games for the blind. I'm not saying there aren't, but mods are some of the best games out there for the blind, in my opinion. So, you will hear me playing Harshlands Mud. I hope you enjoy it.
Speech on. Recorder HQ. Mud close. Activate. Default. Text. Text field. Double tap. Text field. Is editing. Character mode. Press cider. You fully untwist the screw on an apple press, allowing access to the bin. Taking a yard-sized burlap square, you fit it into the bin, letting half hang back over the side. Discord. Now. Herondles. Notify. More. Dismiss. Edit one. Less than unhurt /S button. Craft done button. Less than unhurt /S7/D5 greater than. You fully untwist the screw on an apple press, allowing access to less than unhurt /S8/D5/crafting greater than. Picking through a red apple as you pour, you empty the apples into the bin of the press. Less than unhurt /S8/D5/crafting greater than. Discord now. Parisian #soy restaurant selected. History back button. 1 of 2. Moves one step back in command history. Picking through a red apple as you pour, you empty the apples into the bin of the press button. Text field is editing. Insertion point at end. Tucking the muslin back over the tops of the apples, you tighten the screw by hand until it rests just above the top of the apples. Less than unhurt /S8/D5/crafting greater than. Placing one obvious wooden bucket under the spout, you grab a thin iron rod and fit it into the screw for extra leverage. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 crafting greater than. You are carrying a keg containing apple juice, 6 yard-sized burlap squares, a clean keg filled with nothing X2, a red apple, X60, a pewter key with a pale orchid ribbon. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 crafting greater than. Using a thin iron rod to twist the screw firmly down, you watch as a thin trickle of juice begins to pour into the bucket. Less than unhurt /S6/D5 crafting greater than. Discord, now, As the trickle becomes a steady stream of juice, you pause to switch buckets, dumping the full one into a clean keg. Button. Discord, now, Kestrel, #soyrest. Less than unhurt, button. Less than unhurt button. Continuing to press the apples, you switch the bucket several more times, eventually filling the keg with a sweet, amber juice, button. Left, selected. History back, button. 1 of 2. Moves 1 step back in command history. Continuing to press the apples, text field, is editing, insertion point at end. Continuing to press the apples, you switch the bucket several more times, eventually filling the keg with a sweet, amber juice. Less than unhurt /S7/D5 crafting greater than. A muscular, crystal blue-eyed man notifies clan Harshlands. Use notify back or notify area to reply, or notify to reply anonymously. See help notify for details. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 crafting greater than. After the press has been tightened as far as it will go, you pour the last of the juice into a keg containing apple juice and seal it tightly. Look, please remember that while the Innkeepers Guild does not own a monopoly on the production of alcohol, it does on the selling. If you intend to sell your alcohol, you must sell to an innkeeper or mercantiller. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 crafting greater than. Unthreading the screw on the press, you lift the apple mash out of the bin and scrape it into a compost pile. Less than unhurt /S6/D5 crafting greater than. With a bucket of clean water, you rinse off the muslin and the press, getting rid of the last sticky bits of juice and pulp. Craft done. Less than unhurt /S7/D5 greater than. Press cider. You fully untwist the screw on an apple press, allowing access to the bin. Taking a yard-sized burlap square, you fit it into the bin, letting half hang back over the side. Less than unhurt /S7/D5 crafting greater than. Picking through a red apple as you pour, you empty the apples into the bin of the press. Less than unhurt /S7/D5 crafting greater than. Tucking the muslin back over the tops of the apples, you tighten the screw by hand until it rests just above the top of the apples. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 crafting greater than. Placing one of the wooden bucket under the spout, you grab a thin iron rod and fit it into the screw for extra leverage. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 crafting greater than. Using a thin iron rod to twist the screw firmly down, you watch as a thin trickle of juice begins to pour into the bucket. Less than unhurt /S6/D5/ crafting greater than. As the trickle becomes a steady stream of juice, you pause to switch buckets, dumping the full one into a clean keg. Less than unhurt /S7/D5/ crafting greater than. Continuing to press the apples, you switch the bucket several more times, eventually filling the keg with a sweet, amber juice. Less than unhurt /S7/D5/ crafting greater than. After the press has been tightened as far as it will go, you pour the last of the juice into a keg containing apple juice and seal it tightly. Look, please remember that while the Innkeepers Guild does not own a monopoly on the production of alcohol, it does on the selling. If you intend to sell your alcohol, you must sell to an innkeeper or mercantiller. Less than unhurt /S8/D5/ crafting greater than. Facebook. Now, Facebook send button. After the press has been tightened, but less than unhurt selected text field is editing insertion point at end. Unthreading the screw on the press, you lift the apple mash out of the bin and scrape it into a compost pile. Less than unhurt /S6/D5/ crafting greater than. With a bucket of clean water, you rinse off the muslin and the press, getting rid of the last sticky bits of juice and pulp. Craft done. Less than unhurt /S7/D5 greater than. P-E-T space E-R-L-A-P space T-L. You put 5-yard-sized burlap squares into a satchel of dreary brown leather. Less than unhurt a keg containing apple juice. You are carrying a keg containing apple juice. A keg containing apple juice. A keg containing apple juice. A pewter key with a pale orchid ribbon. Less than unhurt. You are carrying too much to move. Less than unhurt /S7/D5 greater than. R-P space K-E-G. You release a keg containing apple juice. Less than unhurt /S7/D5 greater than. Line ramp and back room. Info. O-D space 2. Period. O-N. You nod to a well-seasoned woman. Less than unhurt /S6/D5 greater than. The lion rampant tavern. P-E-G space info. Inside the drop keg. You release a keg containing apple. The door. You are carrying a pewter key with a pale orchid ribbon. N-K-R. You knock on the door to the west. Less than unhurt W. Lion rampant back room. Info. Inside which L. You begin jogging. G. L. Less than. Info. E-G. You get a keg containing apple juice. You begin jogging eastward. Less than unhurt /S6/D5 greater than. Line ramp. Space. K-E-G. You recognize this object as being created by yourself. It is a keg containing apple juice. You realize that you could make use of this item in the following crafts. Open apple keg. This object will morph to a keg containing cider. 2,773 in 14 days, 23 hours, and 57 space 2 period W-O-N. You nod to a well-seasoned woman. Less than unhurt /S6/D5 greater than. Info. Inside patrolled mark. R-O-P. P-O-D-L. The lion ramp. P-E-G. You release a keg containing apple juice. Less than unhurt /S6/ you. Less than you. Less than unhurt /S6/ info. Less than N. You begin jogging. Mangay Square. Info. Less than unhurt /L. You begin jog L. Mangay Square. Info. Open market. Info. N-L-O-K space A-I-C. There is nothing to open or close there. Less than unhurt. Info. Inside. Open market north. Info. O-U-L-O-K. Ooh, lock. U-N-L-O-K-P-I-C. You unlock a wooden P-I-C. You open a wooden R-P-I-C. Huh. Less than unhurt /S6/P-I-C. That's already open. P-I-C. You enter a wooden A-T-I-I-T-E. E-T-E-G. You get a wooden keg containing fermented fruit. T. You release a wooden keg containing fermented G. You get a wooden keg containing get drop fruit. Drop. You release a get less than unhurt drop fruit. Get. You get 2 wooden keg less than unhurt /S6/D drop fruit. You get a wooden keg contain get drop fruit. You release a wooden keg containing fermented drop fruit. You get a wooden keg containing fermented get drop fruit. You release drop fruit. You get a wooden keg containing fermented fruity get drop fruit. You release a drop fruit. You get a wooden keg containing fermented fruity smelling liquid. Get drop fruit. You drop fruit. You get a wooden keg containing fermented get drop fruit. You release a drop fruit. You get 3 closed keg containing amarales. Get drop fruit. You do not have the fruit. Less than a pit space G. You release 3 closed tips G. You get 3 wooden keg containing pale get drop keg. You release 3 wooden keg drop keg. You get 2 closed keg containing dark beers. Less than a pit G. You release drop keg. You get a keg containing pear cider. Less than a pit space G. You release a drop keg. You get 2 keg containing ciders. Less than unhurt /S7/D5 greater than T. You leave a wooden apricot G. You release 2 keg containing ciders. Space A P R up C. You enter a wood T E E E G T space G. You get 2 keg containing stout beers. Less pits G. You release 2 keg drop keg. You get a closed keg containing beer. Less than unhurt pits G. You release a drop keg. You get a sealed keg containing mead. Less than unhurt space G. You release drop keg. You get a sealed keg containing mead. Get drop keg. You release a sealed drop keg. You get a sealed keg containing mead. Get drop keg. You release a sealed keg containing mead. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than U T. You leave a wooden apricot orange traders up C. You close up C. You lock a wooden apricot orange trader stall with a pewter key. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than open market W exits northeast less L. Open market west X G. Akeen deep breath 262 200 disconnect but 200 page less than unhurt /248 24D0 F a wooden keg containing fermented fruity smelly ellipsis 3 equals 250 page 264 80D0 F a sealed keg containing mead text field double text field E. You begin job less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than open market info N L open market in open market north E T D R. You get 2 keg containing ciders. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than open market. Less than unhurt You begin walking downward. Less than unhurt end. Mangay Square info urban patrolled market exits northeast southwest up. Nolimer is setting in the west. An up tradesman information sign is here. A wooden carving of a map of Tashel and a L. Mangay Square info urban info exits north info Mangay Square. The lion rampant G. You release 2 keg containing ciders. Less than unhurt /S4/D5 greater than space W-I-P-E-X-E-R-E-D. A lapicide, aureate head woman wipes her forehead. Less than unhurt /S5/D5 greater than K-I-L-L-S. Physical. Climb up button. Skills on cooldown. Orbalies. Scan. Button. Less than unhurt. Skills on cooldown. Text field. Is editing. Insertion point at end. The lion rampant chap. A light-haired. Foggy grit. A trick. Or a broken-nosed woman. A live. Green-eyed man. There are a number of. A live. Green-eyed man is sitting here at a hardwood bar. Button. Text. A light-haired. Foggy grit. But. Less than a. Selected. Text field. Is editing. Insertion point at end. Space. With like cap G. I cap G. Cap E G S P space. S space P O S E D space. T S E space. E G S space S space P P E J E C X W I L T N space N O space I D O space. R F T space. Q U K period space. You tell a live green-eyed man in harnic with a gentle soprano lilt. 5 kegs. As promised, those kegs of apple juice will turn into cider right quick. Less than unhurt /S6/D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man gulps ale from a pale wooden tankard containing pale ale. Less than unhurt /S6/D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man puts our pale wooden tankard on a hardwood bar. Less than unhurt /S6/D5 greater than. Alive. Green-eyed man says in Harnick. Discord. Now. Nerdlums. Hashtag up less than unheard. But excellent. No time to waste then. Ellipsis. Button. Alive. Green-eyed man says in Harnick. Excellent. Button. Left. Select. History for text field. Is edit. Insertion point at end. It. Space. D. R. You get 2 keg containing ciders. Less than unheard slash S7/D5 greater than. O. Space. E. You formed a group with a live. Green-eyed man. Less than unheard slash S7/D5 greater than. E. E. G. T. L. Space. T. G. T. Space. Get. T. L. Space. Cabe. T. Space. E. You tell a light-haired, foggy grey. D. G. D. A light-haired, G. E. T. E. G. A light-haired, order fog. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman gets a keg containing apple juice. Okay. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. R. D. G. O. L. O. Space. E. S. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman joins the group. Okay. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. Approaching a keg containing apple juice before pausing and turning to her with a curious flick of his brow. A live, green-eyed man asks a broken-nosed woman in Harnick. Comma, ellipsis, say, swast. Would it be unfit to ask for a boon of strength to help me carry these? Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A broken-nosed woman smiles. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A broken-nosed woman begins praying for divine intervention. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A broken-nosed woman completes her prayer to their deity. A broken-nosed woman raises their hands palms outwards over a live, green-eyed man's head, calling to bolster their strength. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. E. L. G. Space. Cabe. E. A. Space. E. 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 N. Space. E. E. D. P. T. L. A broken-nosed period. Space. What? E. Period. You tell a light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman in Harnick, with a gentle soprano lilt. Theresa, we might not be need your help after all. If he wants to carry them. Less. Theresa, we might not be need your help. Less. But. A broken-nosed woman raises their hands palms outwards over. Less than unheard. But. Theresa, we might not be need your help. Button. A broken-nosed woman raises their hands palms outwards over a live, green-eyed man says in Harnick. Thank you, Lee. Always a pleasure, truly. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A broken-nosed woman nods. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man tells you in Harnick. I can certainly make do on me own if you're busy, Iris. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. E. L. E. Space. Discord. Now. Cap. O. E. O. E. Space. What? L. P. You tell a live, green-eyed man in Harnick, with a gentle soprano lilt. Not at the moment. I have time. My sister and I will help. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man nods. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man says in Harnick. Right then. Let's see. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man gets up from a hardwood bar. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. You are too slow to keep up with the group and are left behind. A live, green-eyed man begins trudging southward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking southward. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man gets up from a hardwood. Mangay Square. Info, urban patrolled. A hitting post is here. A rough-hewn log trough can. A hitting post, but less than unheard. Selected. Exits north. A live, green-eyed man is here. Leader. But a hitting post is here. But less than unheard. Selected. Text field. is editing. Insertion point at end. O L O space L I T E A less than unhurt O I E. You are already in a group with a live green-eyed man. Less than unhurt slash E D. You say out of character. Weird. Less than unhurt slash E T space W K. From now on you will walk. Less than unhurt slash S6 slash D5 greater than. A live green-eyed man begins limping westward. You begin walking westward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking westward. Less than unhurt slash S6 slash D5 greater than. Mangay Square. Info, urban patrolled market. Exits, northeast south closed door west. Hanging above the south door is a bright orange and gold painted shingle. A crimson painted door bin waffle shop is here, open. A live, green-eyed man limps in from the east. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman walks in from the east. Less than unhurt slash S5 slash D5 greater than. Out of character, a live, green-eyed man says. I'm pretty fast. Happens. Less than unhurt slash S5 slash D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man begins limping westward. You begin walking westward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking westward. Less than unhurt slash S5 slash D5 greater than. Mangay Square. Info, urban patrolled market. Exits, northeast southwest. A hazel-eyed soldier of the city watch strides by on patrol. A callous-looking man dressed in a royal tabard is here. A live, green-eyed man limps in from the east. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman walks in from the east. Less than unhurt slash S3 slash D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man begins limping westward. You begin walking westward. A light-haired, less than unhurt, but can drop them all here. A live, green-eyed man says in Harnick. Button. Behind the pavilion flap. Discord, now, Lotus, hashtag general. H space. Tilde. At. D. P. Space. Ampersand. Star. K. E. G. With a heavy sigh lapicide, Oriate-haired woman drops 2 keg containing ciders. Less. O. P. E. G. You release 2 keg containing ciders. Less than R. D. R. Space. O. G. T. E. Space. U. T. And D. O. P. H. R. Space. L. D. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman grunts, dropping her load. P. Space. E. G. You do not have the keg. Less than R. D. R. Space. G. Space. D. P. E. G. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman releases our keg containing apple. Less than unhurt slash S5 text field is editing. Insertion point at end. Order fog drop keg. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman releases our keg containing apple juice. Okay. Less than unhurt slash S5 slash D5 greater than. Artist Armory. Info, inside patrolled market. Exits, outside entryway. A light green flap leads to another section of the pavilion, closed. A simple, cedar-made counter stands here, displaying wares. A shop employee is here taking orders and passing messages. An ashwood log has been set here, decorated for winter solstice. A crisp wanted poster hangs on the wall here. A closed keg containing apple juice has been left to ferment here. A closed keg containing apple juice has been left to ferment here. A live, green-eyed man is here, leader. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman is here, grouped. A curvaceous woman with wavy, rich brown hair is here polishing a weapon. Less than unhurt slash S5 slash D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man emphatically tells you in Harnack. There we are. I, ellipsis, O. Less than unhurt slash F. You are carrying a pewter key with a pale orchid. D. D. G. G. P. K. E. G. Okay. Less than unhurt slash S. Button. A light green interior pavilion flap. A light less but. A pewter key. Less but. A less than unhurt slash. A light green interior pavilion. Button. A light green-eyed man arrives from inside a light green interior pavilion flap. Button. Button. Less than selected. Text field is edit. Insertion point. Less than unhurt slash S6 slash D. Button. A light green interior. But. Less than unhurt. Selected. A light green interior pavilion flap. Text field is edit. Insertion point at end. Artist Armory. Info, inside patrolled market. Exits, outside. A light-haired, a light green flap leads to another section. A light-haired, foggy, slash there slash we are, now, head. A pleasure doing business. Button, text field, is edit in E, L, space, E, space, cap, space, W, X, G, A, G, G, A, T, O, P, P, space. T, T, space, C, D, space, D, A, P, Y, space, E, space, P, E, T, E, S, period, space. You tell a live, green-eyed man in Harnick, with a gentle soprano lilt. I was glad to help, that cider should help your apprentices. Less than unhurt slash S7 slash D5 greater than. E, L, E, space. X, space, E, R, what, U, W, X, I, E, cop, space, W, space, U, space, W, E, L, OK, period, space. You tell a live, green-eyed man in Harnick, with a gentle soprano lilt. If every owl want pies, now you know where to look. Less than unhurt slash S7 slash D5, T. Obvious exits, none. Less than unhurt slash S7 slash D5 greater than. E, L, space, T, E, space. Cap, P, L, E, A, S, T, D, Y, O, U, A, N, question mark. You ask our live, green-eyed man in Harnick, with a gentle soprano lilt. Pleasant day to you then. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash D5 greater than. O-L-O-W-E-F. You are not in a group. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. R-D-O-W space R-E-S-S. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman has joined you in a group. Okay. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. A live, green-eyed man tells you in Harnack. I'll keep it in mind. You as well. Button. Text field. Is edit. Insertion pointed at E. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman leaves a colourfully painted weaponsmith pavilion. You leave a colourfully painted weaponsmith pavilion. Saving Iris. Medrick Way. Info. Urban Patrolled Market. Exits. East-south closed door west. A colourfully painted weaponsmith pavilion stands here. Open. Some masonry work is in progress here. Some masonry work is in progress here. Some masonry work is in progress here. A light-haired, foggy grey space. It is some masonry work in progress. This is immovable. This object will morph away to nothing in 18 days, 18 hours, and 57 minutes. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. You begin walking eastward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking eastward. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. Mangay Square. Info. Urban Patrolled Market. Exits. Northeast southwest. A hazel-eyed soldier of the city. What? E-L-L space. G space. T space. R-E-S-A, space. P-H-A-P-S E D A K E R W space O N I S E P E space O E N O E space D E period space F T E L period space S E space once space O N C C E E L D space E S G O D O N A O N O E space T P L E period space. You tell a light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman in Harnack, with a gentle soprano lilt. Wait, Verisa, perhaps we should make our way to Peony's temple to give thanks to the goddess. After all, one should give a good donation to the temple. Less than unheard slash D space F O G space F Y space cap E S O S O S E I S T R space cap O O O O E cap E O N I S space L I X space L U S T space L F B E space N N A O N E R E D. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman says in Orbalese. Yes, of course, sister. Grabbled like Miss Grabbled be Ebiflaziba. Okay. Less than unheard slash S A O T E L space G space R space O R B A F E F E F I L E E D S K period. You tell a light R D F G space S E K N C. Okay. Needs walk period. Less than unheard needs walk period. Needs walk period. Needs walk N E E D S. Sierra, space, W-O-R-K, end of text. You tell a light-haired, foggy work period needs honored. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman says in Harnack. Yes, of course, sister, Peony's light must always be honored. Okay, less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. You begin walking eastward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking eastward. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. Mangay Square. Info, Urban Patrolled Market. Exits, northeast south closed door west. Hanging above the south door is a bright orange and gold painted shingle. A crimson painted Daubin waffle shop is here. You begin walking eastward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking eastward. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. Mangay Square. Info, Urban Patrolled Market. Exits, northeast south open door west. A light-haired, You begin walking northward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking northward. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. Mangay Square. Info, Urban Patrolled Market. Exits, northeast southwest up. And up tradesman information. E. T E L E S A space K T O space E T E D E space L space Will space W L space W L space O space E T E M P L E. You tell a light-haired, foggy grey-eyed R D O G E T space C R T. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed R T. I'm afraid that just isn't possible. R T. You climb aboard some carts transporting goods and E space B. B. Arrive. O D O space E L A S. Ballas. Space B L A S A. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman leaves the wagon. Okay. Less than unheard slash S8 R B A L A S A. Inside Balasa Gate. Info, Urban Patrolled. Exits, east-west open gate. There is no exit in that. You begin walking eastward. A light-haired. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. Midgenet Square by Balasa Gate. Info. You begin walking northward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking northward. Less than unheard slash S8/D5 greater than. Midgenet Square. Info. Urban. You begin walking northward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking northward. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than. Discord, now. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than. There is no exit in that direction. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than. Midgenet Square. Info, urban. You begin walking eastward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking eastward. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than. Midgenet Square at the temple entrance. Info, urban patrol. Midgenet Square at the temple entrance. Info, urban patrolled. Exits, northeast southwest. A sign indicates that a lawfully recognized temple is near. A ceramic flower pot is here, planted with blooming daisy. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman is here. You begin walking northward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking northward. Discord, now. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than. Entry hall. Info, inside patrolled. E-T-S-I-V-O-S-P-A-T-C-A-E-L. You get a big pile of silver pennies from a satchel of space P-E-H. That much won't fit. Less than an E-T-S-I-V-O-S-P-A-T-L. You put a big pile of T space. Three T-E-G.
Chica.
U-T. You begin searching through your belongings, taking a tally of your coin. Less than unhurt /S8/D5 greater than. By your count, you have 13 pennies in a coin. By your count, you have 385 pennies, 2 farthings in harness coin, 14 silver pennies, a black linen pouch, 14 pennies, 0 farthings, 6 silver farthings, a black linen pouch, 1 penny, 2 farthings, 370 silver pennies, a satchel of dreary brown leather, 370 pennies, 0 farthings. Discord, now. Kylie Gale, hashtag soy restoration, shadows of Isilda, space, O-O-P-E-H. You get a handful of silver get silver pouch. You get a handful of silver farthings from a black linen pouch. Less, E. I'm afraid that just is, E. Tithes found for Iris. Total tithes found for tithe, T-A-I-H, this, T-I-T-E, R. Less than unhurt, tithe silver. To tithe currency use, tithe number sign. Less than unhurt /S-I-T-A-E. Tithe. T-H-H-I-T-E space 1 4. A young Isolani, clad in simple beige robes, accepts your donation with the soft smile and a grateful nod of her head. You offer up the specified amount. Change is made for the amount offered. Less than unhurt /S8, 2 silver farthings, 1 silver penny, a pewter key with a pearl E-E-D-T-I-T-E space what space R. You cannot tithe as the person named Silver. Less than unhurt /S8 I-T-E space 1. A young Isolani, clad in simple beige I-T-E space 2. F. You don't seem to have that much coin on you. Less than unhurt /S 2 silver farthings, a pewter key, I-T. Tit. P-U-T-S-I-P-H. You put 2 silver farthings into a black linen, U-T. You begin searching through your belongings, taking a tally of your coin. Less than unhurt /S8/D6 greater than. By your count, you have 13 pennies in a coin. By your count, you have 370 pennies, 2 farthings in harness coin. Count. 2 silver farthing, G-E-T space. 2, 0, space, S-I-F, space, P, H. You get 2 silver farthings from a black linen pouch. Less than unhurt slash T F A R 8 U H. You put 2 silver T left to 0 space T L. You get a handful of silver pennies from a satchel of dreary brown I E space to 0. A young Isolani, clad in simple beige robes, accepts your donation with a soft smile and a grateful nod of her head. You offer up the specified amount. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash D6 greater than. I T E S. Less than unhurt slash I T E. Tithes found for Iris. Total tithes found for last 1,000 records, 153. 1. Aziris 20 silver to penny on the 4th day of the month of Nolus, 839 tier. 2. Aziris 1 silver to penny on the 4th day of the month of Nolus, 839 tier. 3. Aziris 14 silver to penny on the 4th day of the month of Nolus, 839 tier. 4. Aziris 67 silver to penny on the 25th day of the month of Navak, 838 tier. 5. Aziris 2 silver to penny on the 29th day of the month of Agrazha, 800 and less than unhurt slash S8 slash D6 greater than. E L space F A R E S T T S S A space cap up space T A T cap up E space T I T E D comma space A T space 3 0 0 4 space V R space T O E space cap D E period space A T space 1 2 space P E R C T space F space T E space the of 12 the 2 silver space R cops space 1 2% space T I E space E R E D comma F F space S L W E W R P space R W question mark. Input with the percent character is not permitted. Less than unhurt now question mark. Tell Farisa now that you were tithed about 34 silver start tap for 30 tithe com type that now cap O T H A T cap I cap T T space I 30 about silver comma 34 3 4 space I V E R space B O E T space 1 2% space percent space P E R C T space. You ask a light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman in Harnick with a gentle soprano lilt. Now that I've tithed about 34 silver, about 12% of the tithe earned, shall we worship her now? Less than unhurt slash R D F R E S A space left parent S L I G space O D S right parent space cap E space F R E period space cap 1 E space cap D D E S space I S space P P 8 E X E space D space P F P R Y period space. A wandering, auburn-dressed pilgrim walks in from the east. Okay, less than unhurt prosperity period. Order Farisa, smile, start order left parent smile Farisa F R E S A space T L space Y E S S E R Y space R Y E S space. Smiling nods. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman tells you in Harnick. Yes, of course. May the goddess give us both peace and prosperity. Okay. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking northward. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash D6 greater than. Peony Hall of Worship. Info, inside patrolled. Exits, east open door southwest closed screen. Wispy rain clouds can be seen obscuring the starry night sky from here. A slate message board framed in rough pine hangs from the wall. A small wash basin filled with water sits in front of the podium. A small, bone peony figurine sits up on the podium. A detailed, resting ox figurine sits up on the podium. A woven rug of blue and green is here. A carved, ornate bench of darkly stained wood contains a scroll tied with ruby red ribbon. A young clean man in green robes tends to his daily chores. A matronly woman stands here, smiling kindly to all who pass. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman walks in from the south. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash D6 greater than. A young plain man walks in from the south. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash D6 greater than. I E S. Clerical rituals you are blessed to know. 40 equal signs. Liturgy. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash D6 greater than. N O K E space I L U U I T E R G Y space G R E E N. Invoke on whom? Less than unhurt slash S8 slash D6 greater than. L I V E T R G Y space U G. What? Less than unhurt slash S8 slash E I U Y space literary space L I T E R G Y space U G. You pray to Peony for aid. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash D6 slash invoking greater than. Peony answers your call. You do not feel you have anything to offer at this time. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P4 greater than. R D R R E S space E E E space the space left parent star F G R E E E com space E R T Y space T E 8 G T B E E space K E L G O Y. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman walks to a small, bone peony figurine, reverently touching it before kneeling to pray. Okay. Less than unhurt. R D O R P P I S H R O O R P. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins quietly worshipping. Okay. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P4 group J E T E space K E S B E S T E R space B E G I N I G G I N E R S T E L period. A lapicide, aureate-haired woman kneels beside her beginning her prayers as well. Less than R P. You begin ardent prayers to Penny. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P4 slash worshipping greater than. A young plain man walks in from the east. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P4 slash worshipping greater than. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman concludes her worship. Discord, now, sin hashtag soy restoration shop talk. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman concludes her worship. Button. Less than unhurt slash selected. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P4 slash worshipping greater than. Button. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P4 slash worshipping greater than. You conclude your worship in this holy area. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P4 greater than. N V O K E space U T T L I T R G Y space T R O N. You pray to Penny for aid. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P4 slash invoking greater than. Penny answers your call. You do not feel you have anything to offer at this time. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 greater than. KLS. Physical. Climb. Skills on cooldown. Orbalies. Ritual. Scan. Button. Text field. Is edited. Insertion point at end. EL. Space. ES. Space. N. Space. EN. Period. Period. Question mark. You ask a light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman in harnic, with a gentle soprano lilt. Back to the and then. R D G space E T E O S. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman nods. Okay. You begin walking. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 greater than. Less than unhurt slash S8. Less than unhurt slash S8. You begin walking. W. A light-haired. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 great. Info. Urban patrolled. L. Midgenet Square at the temple entrance. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 greater than. Midgenet Square. Info. Midgenet Square. Info. Urban patrolled. Exits. East south. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 greater than. You begin walking southward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking southward. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 greater than. Midgenet Square. Info. You begin walking southward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking southward. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 greater than. Midgenet Square by Balasa Gate. Info. Urban. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking westward. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 greater than. Inside Balasa Gate. Inf. R D R O space. 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 T. A light-haired. R D D R O E T R space R T. You climb aboard some R D R O G A R E T. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman leaves the wagon. R E T. Mangay Square. Discord. Now. Kylie. You begin walking northward. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman begins walking north. Mangay. Info. Urban patrolled. Exits. Northeast southwest. A brass lantern attached to a pole stands here. Less than unhurt. Mangay Square. Info. Urban patrol. The Lion Rampant Tavern. Info. A steely grey-eyed, athletic woman stands here. Button. A long yassel yellow-haired, burly man is here. A hale, long blonde-haired woman stands here. A statuesque, platinum-haired woman. A light-haired, foggy grey. There are a number of furnishings here. A steely grey-eyed, a long yassel, a frosty blonde braided, a broken-nosed woman is here. A robust, teal-eyed mercenary body. A trim. Text field. Is edited. Insert. R D space S I T space H. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman sits at a comfortable padded bench. Okay. R G O L W S E F. A light-haired, foggy grey-eyed woman left the group. Okay. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 greater than. A frosty blonde braided, icy blue-eyed female nods with a smile to you. Less than unhurt slash S8 slash P1 greater than. Discord. Now. Kinney. Hashtag soy restoration. T. E. T. O. D. S. Space. Tilde. F. R. S. T. Space. A lapicide. Aureate haired woman nod to a frosty blonde braided, icy blue eyed female. Less than unhurt /S8 /P1 greater than. A statuesque, platinum-haired woman says in Harnack. Hopefully it will be addressed, firmly. Less than unhurt /S8 /P1 greater than. Space O-M-O-S. You realize that you could make use of this item in the following crafts. Serve thirsty patron. 15,707. L commoners. R-E-D space 1, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 1, 1, 5, 6, 0, 6, 7, 0, 7. Less than unhurt / read 15,000. Date, second Nolus, 839 tier. Subject, the ransoming of the gondola. A massively built, wing-crested, great helmed person relays, ellipsis. On behalf of the Crown and Captain of the Royal Guard, Ciceridia of Clanderion, I have arrived from Evil to oversee the return of the gondola Dregenhild from the hands of Patrician Lucianus Aquil. Those who wish to accompany me on this endeavor are free to contact any of my men-at-arms on the subject. Though those of no direct importance or use, that is, peanut gallery looky-loos wishing to watch because they're bored, in the matter will be turned away. The city as a whole will be updated on the situation as it evolves. Space L S U U O N C R N E D period space I space E R E X X F E W space C O O O F F O N E R F R D R I K. A lapicide Aureate R V E A R X Y hyphen P A T R O N. Scanning the crowd around a group of commoners, you spot a patron lifting an empty drink container and you make your way over. Less than unhurt /S8 /P1 /crafting greater than. You suggest a drink and pour it, and the patron enjoys it, offering a great tip to contribute to your payday. Craft done. Less than unhurt. Serve thirsty hyphen. Scanning the crowd around a group of commoners, you spot a patron lifting an empty drink container and you make your way over. Less than unhurt /S8 /P1 /crafting greater than. You suggest a drink and pour it, and the patron enjoys it, offering a good tip to contribute to your payday. Craft stopped. Less than unhurt /S8 /P1 greater than. U T space E X E. After a moment of sorting, you determine that there are 7 coins in the pile. Less than E X E T L. You put a handful of exchange pennies into a satchel of dreary brown leather. Less than unhurt /S8 /P1 greater than. U N T. You begin searching through your belongings, taking a tally of your coin. Less than unhurt /S8 /P1 greater than. By your count, you have 20 pennies in a coin. By your count, you have 350 pennies, 2 farthings in Harnick coin, 2 silver farthings, a black linen pouch, 0 pennies, 2 farthings, 20 exchange pennies. What spec cap A E E cap I H A space spec cap A E B E N space E T spec B U Y spec A S E N V E space E N G period. You say in Harnick with a gentle soprano lilt. I have been quite busy this evening. Less than unhurt /S8 /P1 greater than. A statuesque, platinum-haired woman tells a frosty blonde braided, icy blue-eyed female in Harnick. And you. Less than unhurt /S8 /P1 greater than. A frosty blonde braided, icy blue-eyed female begins walking southward, strides with calm, graceful confidence with a soft sway of her hips. A steely grey-eyed, athletic woman begins jogging southward. A long yassel yellow-haired, Burly man begins jogging southward. A hale, long blonde-haired woman begins jogging southward. Less than unhurt /S8/D1 greater than. Act switcher. Activate. Close with. Activate. Default. Pause. Stop. Button.
I cannot see the emerald canopy, but I can read the veins upon the leaves. A velvet carpet woven in the moss beneath my fingertips where shadows cross. The crackling hearth, a bloom of golden heat, the silver stream that rushes round my feet, a scented breeze of jasmine and of pine, invisible, yet perfectly divine. Oh, sleep now, gentle dreamer of the wood, where every unseen thing is pure and good. My prism wings will catch the hidden sun and melt into the light when day is done. Though I must wander where the spirits yearn, wait for the fairies soft and sweet return. A sudden warmth upon my fragile face, an ocean of effulgent glowing grace. I do not need my eyes to find the dawn. Into this brilliant ether I am drawn. I fade into the hum of ancient trees, a memory carried on the evening breeze. But do not weep for what you cannot see. Just close your eyes and you will be with me. Oh, sleep now, gentle dreamer of the wood, where every unseen thing is pure and good. My prism wings will catch the hidden sun and melt into the light when day is done. Though I must wander where the spirits Stay wild, stay